The opinions expressed are those of the show's host and not the staff or management of Port St. Lucie Broadcasters. Any reproduction without written consent of WSTU and WPSL is strictly prohibited. Now it's time for Quality of Life Radio, brought to you by Cigna. Here are your hosts, Gary Owen and Tom Bouvier.
Hello and good morning to all of our wonderful friends listening in on this beautiful Tuesday morning. It is January 26th already, and I am your host, Gary Owen. And Tom, the Bouvier, could not be with us again 2 weeks in a row. He's on vacation. Well, he probably wishes he was on vacation. And we are bringing you live in the WSTU studio, the Quality of Life Radio Show. And also, for those of you that are watching us live on Facebook, you can catch us at the Quality of Life Radio Show on Facebook. And we're streaming live also in the studio at www.wstutv.com. And we know that our listeners, our loyal listeners out there listening on WSTU 1450 and WPSL 1590, we appreciate you tuning in. And we already see comments coming in. Apparently, we have some rock stars in the studio this morning, so there's a lot more people watching and tuning in this morning to make those butterflies even bigger for you. So why are we here? We are here to bring relevant content to our listeners, to support and showcase our local business owners, and to provide education and information that will not only help, but enhance your quality of life. I'm going to be welcoming our featured guests here shortly, and we'll kind of go back and forth with what they do for the first half of the show. And then the second part of the show, we're going to share our knowledge and present information about important insurance solutions, pitfalls to avoid, transparency, and get this, good old-fashioned straight talk that will enhance and improve your quality of life. So also, probably after we come back from our second break, we're going to talk about two different subjects. I always bring up interesting news across the world. The first part is going to be zoo offers to name roaches and rats after patrons' ex-lovers. It's going to be an interesting story. And then secondly, a naked fugitive gets rescued from a tree by fishermen. So stay tuned for those exciting stories. But more importantly, I'm happy to introduce our featured guest this morning, Tammy Carroll Insurance. We have Tammy Carroll with us this morning in the studio, as well as Victoria Ardito. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Gary.
So are you excited to be in the Rockin' WSTU studio this morning?
So excited. Thank you for having us.
We're glad to have you guys. So tell everybody, first of all, we'll start with Tammy, because Tammy, we've known each other for, I don't know how many decades, but we won't.
Don't age us.
We won't say how many decades it was. But tell the audience and those that are watching a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what you do, and when you got into the business and why you got in the business. And then I'll pick on Victoria.
Sounds great. Thanks again for having us, Gary. I'm Tammy Carroll. I'm the owner of the Tammy Carroll Insurance Agency. We have been serving the Treasure Coast since 2003, and we are super excited about that. We pride ourselves on being fantastic community supporters. We constantly give back. We believe that we live here, we work here, and we give back right here in our backyard. But more importantly, we service all of your property and casualty needs. We leave the health insurance to Gary. So all of your property and casualty needs, that would be your home, your boat, your car, I said home, auto, boat, your RVs, your motorcycles, and we can do your business insurance as well. But today I'm going to turn it over to Victoria, because she's going to talk about what's a really hot topic these days, which is homeowners insurance and why is it getting so expensive. So Victoria, I'm going to go ahead and pass it to you.
Well, hold on a minute, Victoria. She forgot one thing.
Oh
no.
Sorry.
Here we go.
I'm new to radio.
She's new to radio. She isn't new to networking, I can tell you that. Okay, so tell us where you're from originally and when you got in the insurance business and what got you here.
Oh, okay. I apologize. So if you haven't been able to tell by the attitude, I'm originally from New York, but I have been in Florida since I was 8. So I'm basically a Floridian. And I got into the insurance business actually a long time ago, back when I was 21 years old. And then I worked for somebody else until I started my own agency in 2003. So I'm not going to tell you how long, because then I would be sharing my age.
21 years of age. That's pretty amazing. That wasn't that long ago now. Come on now. All right, fantastic. And let me throw another curveball at you. What is the single most thing that you love about the Treasure Coast?
I love the sense of community that we have on the Treasure Coast, especially
Here,
right
here.
here in Martin County. Everyone is always stepping up to help their neighbor, to help a good cause. When we had those floods in Hope Sound, the amount of response of regular people just coming out to give their own time and their own materials to help those people get all of that stuff out of their homes, since most of them did not have flood insurance either. It was just amazing to watch that. And we see those kind of things happen in Martin County all the time, especially through our nonprofits as well.
I agree 100%. That's good stuff. All right. So my networking companion, Victoria Ardito, a little bit about you and where you're from and what got you into the business.
Well, I'm from Massachusetts. I moved here when I was 10 years old.
I never hear you say park the car.
No,
I haven't caught that from you.
nope. I left that back in Massachusetts.
And you should see her pack the car. We've had a few incidents.
Just one.
Well,
We won't go there. We won't go there.
Do tell.
Nope.
She has great auto insurance.
Progressive, they really handle claims well. I got into the insurance industry. Actually, I went into a local agency to have my auto quoted, left as a receptionist, became a customer service representative, got my 220, and just moved up from there.
Was that when you were 21 too?
Right.
Nice.
I was 10. No. No, I just fell in love with the industry. I love educating my clients and helping teach them, what coverage is needed to best protect their assets, their most valuable assets. So
Fantastic. Of course, I just purchased a big asset, which you guys are protecting, my home. And I know we're going to dive into that for a minute. But for all of our listeners out there this morning, what would you say is your value proposition? Why should people who are watching and listening to us this morning do business with Tammy Carroll Insurance?
Well, we are an independent agency, so we are not captive. We don't have a limited selection of markets. We're able to write we've got over 20 different companies, which gives us the upper hand to find companies that will suit their needs, and also find them the most affordable rate.
No, that's perfect, because I know that you work hard on clients that I give you and refer to you and do your best. And I get a lot of compliments back from them saying that Tammy Carroll and Victoria took good care of us. We appreciate that. So that is kudos to what you guys do. And when you can't help people, for example, my friend Rob, who just recently purchased a home at an airport community, unfortunately, he had some issues and you guys couldn't help him, and you were honest and forthright with him. So that is something that we all appreciate, honesty, integrity, and being transparent. That's huge, and it's important in today's world.
Absolutely. There's a market for everyone. We might not have that particular market, but we just hope that you save our information, give us another shot down the road. Things always change, and we're just there to help our clients when we can.
So we are in a real estate, is it a bubble, Tammy? I mean, I don't know. It's crazy out there. What's going on?
Boom! I hear from the realtors.
Bubble, boom, bubble.
There's no inventory.
It's amazing what's going on out here, and people are buying and selling houses right and left. And I know you guys are busier than crazy. Phenomenal. I'm glad to see that you guys are doing so well, and people are coming to you for business, for homeowners. So tell us a little bit about that process and how you obtain the right policy for that homeowner.
Well, a lot of it starts with gathering information about the insured. Is this going to be their primary residence? Is it going to be a seasonal home? A lot of companies have different requirements when it comes down to that. So we need those details up front to make sure we find the market that would best protect them. It also comes down to wind mitigations and inspections. And one thing right now that is a really hot topic is the roof. Right now, we're dealing with a lot of the 2004, 5, and 6 shingle roofs that are starting to hit their max life expectancy, which is really limiting the markets that are willing to insure. So it's finding out what type of home they're buying and educating them on, what companies are looking for and what, hey, we can rate you with this market, but plan on the next year or so saving up to replace your roof if you're going to want to continue to get the best rate.
What's the most, maybe the single most important thing for a homeowner, someone who's buying a home, to have done to get the best homeowners insurance premium possible? What's your advice for that?
That definitely comes down to your wind mitigation inspection. Your wind mitigation is what gives you a majority of your discounts on your premium. It consists of 6 different credits, all of which can range from A, B, C, etc. So the better the credits you receive, the more discount you'll receive. I'm noticing that a lot of roofs have what's called the toenail credit for the roof to wall attachment. That is not giving you the biggest discount that you could qualify for. So it's something as simple as retrofitting your roof that involves just putting an extra nail in the strap, and then we'll bump you from the toenail credit up to the clip credit. That right there can save you thousands on your premium in just 1 year. So really, when somebody's buying a home, the wind mitigation inspection is going to be your most important, I feel, factor that you want to look at, see what you're receiving, and make sure that you're getting the most credits.
Is there a roof that's preferred by homeowners, companies over another? For example, is a metal roof preferred over a shingle, tile roof, and so forth?
The tile roofs are good. Metal seems to be the trend right now. They seem to be lasting longer. Shingle roofs are very tough. We've got a lot of companies right now that are starting to make the age restriction 10 years and under. Really isn't a big lifespan. So really right now I'm seeing a lot of people go toward the metal roofs. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get more of a discount. In all honesty, it increases your dwelling limit, but these roofs last longer, and they tend to see less damage, so they're better quality.
So note to self and note to all you that are listening, when your roof is up and it's time to replace, go with a metal roof probably.
If I could interject real quick, I would just suggest also when you said when buying a home, find out what the insurance is going to cost first, because a lot of people fall in love with a home and then they get those insurance rates because they are very high right now. And especially if it is an older roof or a wood frame home, it can be a lot higher. I would just go ahead and give a call to get a quote on what it's going to be so that you're prepared, because we hate to see deals fall apart at the closing table for both realtors, and title companies before they even get there because they couldn't afford the insurance.
100%. And which was going to brings the next question is, we've seen over the last few months premiums increase dramatically on homeowners insurance premiums. So we're going to talk about that when we come back from our break, and then we're going to let Victoria give everybody the best contact information so you can call them and get a free quote. You are listening to the Quality of Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Gary Owen. You're listening to WSTU 1450, America's Heritage Station, and 1590 WPSL.com. Stay tuned. We will be right back. And welcome back to the Quality of Life Radio Show. This is your host, Gary Owen, and hopefully you've been tuning in since we started at 10:04 this morning. And if you haven't, you're just tuning in, welcome. We have two very special guests with us in the studio here this morning, Tammy Carroll and Victoria Ardito with Tammy Carroll Insurance. Tammy is from the great state of New York, and Victoria is from Massachusetts, where she doesn't park the car. So we're very, very happy to have them with us this morning. So before we went on break, I was asking Tammy, we've been seeing premium increases, man. I mean, ridiculous premium increases on homeowners and premium. And we're talking, I think I've seen 25% rate increases and maybe more, maybe less. But can you explain to me why in the heck this is happening?
Well, there's a lot of variables to it. The biggest thing is the amount of water claims that we've had recently. The insurance companies have now started to limit the water damage coverage on policies as well, because there have been so many really high water claims. Also, the hail claims have been out of control. Hail. Everybody's been getting new roofs over hail.
What the hell?
What the hell is going on? You're killing us. But at any rate, hail, the water damage, those have all really increased the rates. And now the insurance companies are just really zoning in on the roof age. It's all about the roof age now. And they've decided that a shingle roof has a certain life expectancy, a concrete tile roof has a certain life expectancy. And once that life expectancy is up, even if your roof doesn't have any leaks and it's still in good shape, they want a new one. They want a new roof. And insurance is not a maintenance policy. So if that roof was not damaged by a covered peril, then getting a new roof, unfortunately, is on the homeowner. And many people, especially in today's times with everything we have going on, cannot afford to put a $15,000 or $20,000 roof on at their own cost. So we do have people that we have to put with carriers that are accepting those older roofs. And the rate, unfortunately, is a lot higher because the carrier knows that the roof is probably going to go.
So besides hail and besides flood and water damage, is there any other contributors to these premium increases that you see?
Well, we also have, costs are going up, the replacement costs and the building costs and the materials are going up, especially in the pandemic right now. Everything is costing more to get to us.
You're telling me.
So that all trickles down to the consumer, unfortunately.
So for those of you that are listening, I know you were wanting to ask the same question I asked. Now you got your questions answered by Tammy Carroll herself. And now you have the freedom, the flexibility to pick up the phone and call Tammy Carroll Insurance. Victoria, what is the best way for them to call you and to check you out? I mean, check the website out.
Right, of course. You can always give us a call at 772-781-7720. And Beth would be happy to answer the phone and get you in touch with an agent who would be willing to.
What happens if Beth is busy and they want to talk to you?
You will always get a live representative.
Just ask for Victoria.
And then just ask for me.
All right. What's the website?
TammyCarrollInsurance.com.
Very good.
Pretty
I see
simple.
you go to that quite a bit.
Yes.
You kind of like me.
I see we're going to have a refresher course with Victoria. I'm glad she knew the phone number.
Yeah, give them the phone number again because people are driving. They don't have their
Write
pen.
this down.
Yeah, write it down. Have your pen and paper ready.
772-781-7720.
781-7720. That is the way to get a hold of Tammy Carroll Insurance. If you're experiencing high premium increases, you're getting sick and tired of being mistreated by your homeowner's carrier or your agent, I highly recommend you call Tammy Carroll Insurance. And so we've got about 5 minutes left. So at least on this segment anyway. So tell us about automobiles. So obviously we know that you do homeowners. We know you do commercial liability. Automobiles, probably your second, probably largest cases that you're writing. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I just want to add in, especially it involves home, but also auto, is we do have companies that are now starting to bundle. So with these rising rates, one of the ways to save on your premium is to look at bundling your home and auto. We've got many companies now that will give a discount on both sides, on the auto side and the homeowner side, if you bundle both policies with them.
I like that. Don't fumble Bundle. I like it.
Beautiful. Right on. We also have a lot of auto markets that are exceptionally competitive when it comes to young drivers. So, for those out there that have teenagers that are getting their permits, get ready for your rate to go through the roof.
Wow.
You're going to see $1,000, $1,200 increase in premium, but
when they get their operator's license,
right,
not their permit,
right. Once they become licensed drivers. And so it's really important to make sure you shop it around. We do have plenty of auto carriers that, like I said, are exceptionally competitive with young drivers. And at the same time, too, we'll make sure you're getting every eligible discount that's available. And we'll look at bundling that homeowners too, to just try and keep that rate down for you.
So speaking about teen drivers, parents, for those of you that are listening out there, grandparents who have grandchildren, you probably are aware of some of these statistics, but cell phone use while driving leads to over 1.6 million crashes every single year. 1 out of every 4 car accidents is caused by someone texting and driving. Hence why we need stronger laws, and we need law enforcement out there to enforce those laws, because I can't tell you the number of people I see in a given mile who are texting and trying to drive. Texting while driving is 6 times more likely to cause an accident than driving drunk. So stop texting and driving. Kathy was involved in a car accident on 995 northbound leaving Palm Beach County because some young teenager was texting and driving aggressively and smashed her into a concrete median. And thank God she left with her life, thank God, but had surgeries, and still 2 years later, can't lift her leg and her knee because of that. So it is a serious situation. So make sure that teenagers don't take their phones in them with an easy reach. Have them put it in the glove box and keep it away from them while they are driving. I know there's technology that you can put on your phone to automatically notify them if someone calls or texts that they are driving. So
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. Does that help them with their rates, or not really?
That doesn't impact rate, but it will save, protect them from getting a ticket for being on their, phone while driving. Really, the most important thing for young drivers, keep a clean driving record, establish that clean driving history. Over time, your rate will start to come down.
How long does it take? I mean, so for parents out there who are bemoaning the fact that they got children now who have an operator's license and they're experiencing these high rate increases, how long does it take for that to come down?
Well, basically, a couple of things that we didn't mention too is that teen drivers, 3.0 grade point average is a huge discount for them, and taking a driver safety course, which here in Martin County and in St. Lucie County, we offer for free in our high schools. So they can sign up for that through a Treasure Coast Driving School and take that for free. They do a fantastic job on educating the young drivers on texting and driving and accidents. They take them out on the road, teach them to drive. We highly encourage that. And it is a discount on most insurance carriers, along with the good grades. The insurance carriers feel that the student that took the time and responsibility to take that course and maintain good grades is going to be a better risk behind the wheel than somebody that isn't doing either of those. So we strongly encourage our parents of young drivers to get their kids involved in that program as well, because it's wonderful to bring back to them. But as far as getting when it's going to reduce, every year it's going to go down a little bit because we're rating that youthful driver on driver inexperience. So even if it was an 18-year-old that just got their license, they would almost be just as expensive as a 16-year-old because it's the level of inexperience that they're just now driving. So as Victoria said, they keep a clean driving record and they keep doing well. Every year they're going to see that reduce a little bit. So, but accidents, infractions, tickets, those things will take those rates right through the roof. So educate your kids that driving is a responsibility. It's a privilege.
That's right.
So
good. I like it. That's great information.
Another discount to keep in mind, if you have a teen driver who's away at school and over 100 miles from their residence and don't have their car with them, they do qualify for the distant student discount. So that's another one that does help save on premium as well.
So I'm sure there's a lot more discounts, a lot more information that you as a consumer have questions on that you can call the experts at Tammy Carroll Insurance. And again, one more time, well, probably not the last time, but one of the last few times before the show ends, what's the best number that they can reach you at?
That number is 772-781-7720.
And if you're driving, our website, you can chat right to us and send us a message right through there at TammyCarrollInsurance.com.
But not while they're driving.
Definitely not while you're driving, but it's easier to remember TammyCarrollInsurance.com than the phone number. I don't want them stopping to try to race to write this phone number so they can call Victoria.
Listen, while you're making your way to pull over to write down the phone number in the website, please stop by Starbucks and bring us over a cappuccino or a latte. That would be phenomenal. All right. So before we get into my segment on disability insurance, we're going to talk about that today with everyone. So if you're between the ages of 18 and 64 and 9 months, you need to pay attention to this. But let's talk about my two stories that I always share, some exciting stories on each show. Interesting stories, funny stories. So this one here happened on January 25th. A Texas zoo is offering jilted lovers the chance to get some Valentine's Day revenge. Valentine's Day is coming. You know what that means. By naming a cockroach or a rat after their exes before it is fed to a larger animal. This is happening in the San Antonio Zoo. So the zoo said scorned lovers can pay $5 to have a cockroach named after their ex before it's served to a larger zoo animal as a meal. Yum, yum. The zoo said someone looking to make a stronger statement can pay $25 to name a pre-frozen rat for their former lover before it's fed to a snake. You can also symbolically purchase a herbivore option, and we'll feed it to one of our mammals, the zoo said. Well, that's a very interesting story.
For an extra $50, will they send the video to the ex of it happening?
I like that.
You are so funny and encourageable. You know what I say to all this? Just cry me a cockroach already. Dear Lord, that's funny. All right, then the second story. A negative fugitive rescued from tree by two fishermen. So two fishermen have rescued a naked fugitive who they found sitting, it must have been too much tequila, found sitting on a tree branch in Australian crocodile habitat. Kev Joyner and Cam Faust, both recreational fishers, found the 40-year-old naked man in East Point, close to the city of Darwin on Sunday. Their friends said they heard Luke Vosgrensky shout out for help as they were setting crab traps from their little dinghy in the swamp. They said the man, who was covered in mud, cuts, and insect bites, I wonder where those insect bites were. That would be interesting to see that, begged them for a drink of clean water and said that he had been living off snails for 4 days. I bet you he smells too.
Probably.
It didn't make sense to us. He had a nest made up in the tree, and he was only laying a meter above the water, and there were crocs in the water, so he has done very well to survive. Mr. Faust said he gave the man his shorts and a beer, and then the trio went back to Darwin in the dinghy. He looked like he needed a beer, although he was in a bad way. There was an ambulance crew waiting by a boat ramp upon their arrival, as well as a police escort. The man was taken to the hospital in Darwin, where he was placed under police guard as he was treated. Police said he had been on bail after being charged with armed robbery, multiple aggravated assaults, deprivation of liberty, and stealing. He had removed his electronic monitoring device last week to evade police, but he did not evade the insects. So his next court date is February 9th. I'd love to tune in to check that one out. Very interesting.
Yes, please keep us up to date on that.
All right. So we've got about 2.5 minutes before our next break. So I'm going to really kind of give you some insight on disability insurance and some statistics kind of set the tone for what we're going to talk about and share with you this morning about disability insurance and why you should have disability insurance protection. So last year, or in 2018, over 38 million people suffered non-fatal, medically consulted injuries. 38 million people a year. Falls account for over 8 million hospital emergency visits, representing the leading cause of visits at 21.5%. Fractures are the most serious consequences of falls. Slips and falls are the leading cause of workers' compensation claims and are the leading cause of occupational injury for people aged 55 years and older. So, and also, we were talking about crash and statistics earlier with teenage drivers. So 4.5 million people are injured every single year, seriously injured, due to car accidents and require medical attention. And road crashes are the leading cause of death in the U.S. for people aged 1 to 54. So, and then also Chuck Gary. I don't know if Chuck Gary is listening to us this morning. And Chuck Gary is a prominent attorney here in Martin County on the Treasure Coast, as well as an avid bicyclist. He travels and bicycles all over the country in support of the community and nonprofit groups. But here's one. Pedestrian and bicyclist fatalities continue to rise in the United States, according to NHTSA. More pedestrians and cyclists were killed in 2018 than any other year since 1990. So setting that, we'll come back after break and talk to you about disability insurance so you can know the ins and outs so we can protect your quality of life. You're listening to the Quality of Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Gary Owen. You're listening to WPSL 1590 AM and WSTU 1450 AM. Don't touch that dial. We will be right back. All right, welcome back to the Quality of Life Radio Show. This is your host, Gary Owen, and we are live in the studio in downtown Stuart, WSTU. And thank God you are listening into today's segment with Tammy Carroll Insurance. Tammy Carroll and Victoria Ardito is our guest in the studio this morning. And we are transitioning to the second segment of our show, and we're going to talk to you over the next 17 minutes or so, 16 minutes, about disability insurance. And I always recommend that, you know, you guys are in the insurance business. So you protect big assets,
Right.
the homes, the cars, businesses, right? And I think so many people neglect the single most important asset of all time. And what is that, Tammy?
Your quality of life, Gary.
And your ability to earn an income, right? Your own life. And so I always like to ask people, what price tag do you put on your life? You know, your house, your home could cost you $500,000, $1 million, whatever that number is. You're protecting it. You buy insurance for your automobile. You want to protect that asset. But back the horse up a little bit. You're telling me that you don't have disability insurance or health insurance, but most importantly, disability insurance, which is insurance that protects your paycheck and your money. Little story, like an analogy. So on you this morning
Go
for this
for it.
analogy. And so let's say that you go to this money machine shop and you buy this sexy money machine. And whatever that costs, it's going to cost you some money to have that money machine. And that money machine is going to produce you $150 a day every single day when you take it home. But the salesman says you've got to buy insurance to protect your money machine. You go, no, I'm okay. My money machine is going to be just fine. So you take your money machine home, you put it in your bedroom next to your bed. You look at it every night before you go to sleep. You wake up to it in the morning and you go to that money machine. You hit the little power button, you pull the lever, and it's producing you $150. And you got a big smile on your face like you do right now. And you're like, wow, this is a great money machine. Next day, the same thing. The next week, the next month, the next year. This goes on for several years. And then one day you come home and you hit the power button and nothing happens. The money machine is broke.
Oh, that's not good.
That is not good.
That is not good.
Right? So imagine if you had insurance that protected that money machine. You could call somebody and say, hey, my money machine's broke. Come and fix it or give me some money while my money machine is being repaired. Same thing about your quality of life and your health. So you need to protect your money machine. That is you. So if you're out there and you're self-employed or you work for somebody, your employee, and you don't have this very important key coverage called disability insurance, you need to be paying attention. Seriously. I've got a story to share with you about that, but why is disability insurance the most important financial product that you didn't realize that you needed? So when you think about the insurance that you need, disability not be at the top of your list. We talked here this morning about all the different types of insurance that you can buy, but here is one that you probably haven't purchased yet that you probably should have at the top of your list, not at the bottom of your list, or maybe not even on your list at all. So what would happen if you were at work or even at home tomorrow and you couldn't go in for a few months? Or what about a car accident like so many people have, or an illness? God forbid someone got COVID-19 and then you're in a hospital and you're recovering for weeks or months, and it takes all that time to recover. And now you don't have a steady paycheck coming in. What are you going to do? Victoria, what do you think they're going to do? Stress? 100%.
Yeah.
They're going to pay the bills. Who's going to pay the mortgage? Who's going to pay, put food on the table, right? So, and if you're the primary income earner of your household, it could mean financial hardship, and specifically if you don't have disability insurance. And it's a DI, I call it DI, disability insurance. DI is a type of insurance that pays you a monthly benefit if you become disabled. And most people are wise to purchase both. There's two types of DI insurance. There's short-term disability and long-term disability. As coverage for long-term disability may take 6 months to kick in. I mean, there's a elimination period for long-term disability. It's either 90 days or 180 days. The longer the time period for it to kick in, the lesser or the lower the premiums become. And short-term disability, as the name implies, starts faster within a couple of days than long-term care coverage, than long-term disability coverage. And typically, short-term disability will cover you from, say, 30 days to 6 months, which is enough time for you to have gone by for your long-term disability insurance policy to kick in. Also, according to the Nonprofit Council for Disability Awareness, the most common causes of short-term disability claims are pregnancy, musculoskeletal disorders. I think most people in the country have that, including myself. Digestive disorders, mental health issues, and other types of injuries. That's for short-term disability claims. Now, for long-term disability claims, by the way, those of you listening out there, is what I'm saying resonating? You're probably thinking, oh my God, I wish I listened to Gary Owens' Quality of Life radio show a month ago. Before I got sick or before I got injured, before I had a car accident, whatever. Long-term disability claims most commonly stem from musculoskeletal disorders, cancer, pregnancy, mental health issues, and other types of injuries. And last week we spoke about cancer insurance and how important it is to have a cancer and a critical illness policy in place, because yes, you may have, hopefully you do have health insurance in place. If you don't, you need to call the professionals at Owen Insurance Group, and that number, and I'll be giving you my number as much as Victoria gave you her number. Our number is 772-210-1020, 772-210-1020. If you have about health insurance or disability insurance, long-term care insurance, life insurance, accident insurance, critical and chronic illness insurance, we do it all. We do everything that Tammy Carroll doesn't do. So,
and if we could give you a quick plug, every time we send a customer over to you, we get a thank you call back about
That's
what
awesome.
a great job your staff has done. So thank you for taking such good care of our clients.
Well, you know how important it is, Tammy, to have
Absolutely.
good people in place to do the right thing for people. And I always say, if you do the right thing, good karma is going to happen, and it's going to come back to you at tenfold. So it's really important. And I don't think people realize that, yeah, okay, I have health insurance. It's going to cover me if I got cancer. Well, you know, people have high deductibles on their health insurance policies today. And maybe you need a cancer treatment that's not covered by your health plan. And so it's good to have a cancer policy in place for that. But more importantly, also, is having a disability policy that will pay you while you're recovering and getting better. So focusing on your health and getting back to work and not having to stress about where the money is going to come from. So disability is a common cause of bankruptcy. There are millions of people filing bankruptcy across the country, and disability and cancer are the two things that cause bankruptcy the most. Social Security disability insurance, also known as SSDI, and workers' compensation may offer some benefits to someone with a disability, but do not offer enough income to pay for everything that you need. And disability insurance is an important backup plan if you can't go to work and you need to keep up your income while you're recovering. So I want to kind of give a little story about a young lady here in Martin County. She purchased a long-term disability policy, and the premium was $100. Actually, she was in our radio show here recently, and I'm working on another case with a client for a long-term disability policy. So this disability policy was $169 a month. It provided them, which really equate to an annual premium of $228. For $169 a month premium, they go on claim. She received, and this other will receive $2,100 a month in benefits. And keeping in mind, this is a female client. So this one female client purchased a disability plan 5 years ago, went on claim due to a musculoskeletal situation with her back, couldn't work. She lost her job after being there for 5 years. They terminated her employment, and she went on a 2-year claim with disability. It took her that much time to get better and to have the surgeries that was performed and so forth. So if you think about it, she paid 5 years, $2,028 in premium over 5 years of time. So her investment to that point, 5 years, was $10,000. And to get a $50,000 benefit. So her benefit was for 2 years. So what a great $48,000, almost $50,000 benefit that she got by paying 5 years of premium, $10,000. So not a bad deal to pay $10,000 to get $50,000 worth of benefit. And now she still has a policy in force that will continue until age 65. So let's ask this question: what is the break-even point on paying premiums with my policy? So obviously, She broke even within the first year of paying the premium, but she'll continue to pay another 20 years in premiums, and she'll have paid enough premiums in 20 years to break even with the income that she earned from her disability income payments. So it's really super important to have that coverage. And imagine where these people would be if you did not have a disability policy in play. And traditionally, we know that manual labor workers, those in the construction field, and low specialized positions like a surgeon or a masseuse. I had a massage on Sunday, and I'm sitting there on the table thinking, my God, I wonder if this lady has disability insurance. Of course, I have to ask her if she does, because if something happens to your hands that you're using all day, every day, what are you going to do for work, right? So it was good to know that they had the group had a group disability policy in place. But it's important that we educate consumers because they need to know their options and what's available out there.
Gary, can I ask a quick question about
Sure.
disability? So you said that your client had a 2-year claim going on. Is there a limit to how long the claim can go on? Or I'm imagining there's certain things that they have to do to mitigate the claim?
That's correct. So she had a 2-year benefit. You can buy a 2-year benefit, 5-year benefit, 7-year, 10-year, or to retirement age. So you can buy those different types of
you
benefits.
Choose your benefit.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And yes, I mean, you do have to go to the doctor and recertify because the insurance company wants to make sure that they're not paying you if you're capable and you're able-bodied and you can go back to work again. So there is a claim form that has to be completed by a physician every 90 days, just to make sure that you still require those premiums, that benefit, that monthly benefit. But that is a very good question.
Should people shop these policies like they would a home or auto policy?
Yeah, just like homeowners. I mean, there's 20 different carriers that you can go to, and each one's specific. I mean, they do their own thing. They have their own niche, like Principal. They specifically focused on white collar workers. So if you work in an office, or you're a physician, or you're a masseuse, what have you. So there are different companies. There's some companies that will focus on blue collar and some on white collar, some on different types of benefits and so forth. So yes, absolutely. And that's why it's important, like you, Owen Insurance Group also is an independent brokerage agency. And how important is the word independent? Absolutely. You're not beholden to one specific insurance company. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm saying that it's important that you work with an independent brokerage agency like Tammy Carroll for home and auto and business, and Owen Insurance Group for life and health and Medicare and so forth, because we will work for you specifically in finding you the best options and the best premium that fits your specific needs. Like you said earlier, that exactly what you do with your clients as well.
It's nice to have choices.
I love choices.
I love choices.
Choices is really important. And think about this. I mean, we go shopping all the time. We get into our cars and not even think for a minute that we're going to be involved in a car accident. Or we go to the store and we slip and fall in the store, or whatever, or we're at work, or we're painting. I just bought a home, so there's a lot of construction work going on in my home right now. And you're painting the house, or you're cutting the lawn. Any accident can happen at the blink of an eye. And so many people have their heads in the sand thinking that it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
And that day hits you like a ton of bricks. And now you've lost your money machine.
Especially if you're the sole provider of your family.
Listen, if you're a breadwinner, absolutely, Tammy. If you're a breadwinner, you absolutely, positively, unequivocally, absolutely need to have disability insurance. And if you don't, listen, you have a 1 in 4 chance of having an accident and being disabled, or you're going to be on a long-term disabled situation. So it doesn't cost you that much, really, in terms of the policy. For example, $2,000, $2,100 a month benefit for only $169 a month. If that's not in your budget, then curtail and reduce your monthly benefit lower. But don't say, I'm not going to have anything. It's better to have something than to have nothing at all. So very, very important to do that. And remember, also, there's two types of disability insurance. There's any OC, or any occupation, and ONOC, or your own occupation. So those are the types of policies that you can buy. And it determines the level of disability that you could qualify. So, for example, if you bought a policy, a DI policy from a carrier that says the rule says it's any occupation coverage, which is most likely going to be less expensive, but your insurance only starts if you can't reasonably do any job. That means that you'd have to maybe go work somewhere else for less pay. So I traditionally like to recommend own occupation, which means that if you are disabled, and you can't do your own job, regardless of whether you can do something else, this is ideal for you because, again, we're trained in doing what we do. So if something happened to me and I'm disabled, my expertise and experience is in the insurance world. So if something happens, I can't do that. If I have an ONOC policy, they can't tell me, oh, Gary, you got to get a job somewhere else. Otherwise, we're not going to pay you. So those are the two important features that you got to remember. Ask for own occupation. Very important. Ask about the elimination periods. That will have a variance also on your premium. So that is my story and my information. I've got more to share with you about that, but also don't think that Social Security disability insurance is going to be enough, because in 2020, SSDI is only $1,260 a month. That isn't going to really provide you a lot. All right. So next week, we're going to have a special guest on our show, another special guest from our networking group, Maureen Vaillancourt, with Remax of Stewart, and she will join. I don't know if Tom's going to be around or not, but at least I will be here and interviewing him about insurance planning, about real estate, and we'll also talk about insurance planning with clients. And hopefully those of you that are watching and listening in enjoyed the show. Please share us. If you did, share us with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your relatives. And remember, Treasure Coast, stay safe, keep healthy, be happy, and enjoy your quality of life. Take care, everybody.